session will be moderated by Yang Berbahagia Professor Datuk Seri IR Dr. Nur Azwan Abu Osman, Vice Chancellor of Universiti Malaya. Please welcome.
Okay. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. I think I'm not so sure either now is the best time for us to have this kind of forum, but I promise you I'm not going to give a long kind of discussions. Probably maximum is going to be about 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, before that, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my pleasure to welcome all of you to this, what we call it, high-level plenary talk on the Uzbekistan, Malaysia. And the title is The Way Forward in Higher Education, Science and Innovation. Let me just start like this. You know, we are witnessing an era of transformative change in the global economy, driven by technological innovation. Yeah, technological innovation, shifting geopolitical dynamics, and of course, the urgent needs for sustainable development. For nations like us, Uzbekistan and Malaysia, fostering innovation is not just an option, it is a must, or it is a necessity. I want to share you a bit about, in Malaysia context, of our drive for higher education excellence. In Malaysia perspective, we place great importance on the role of higher education and technology in advancing our nation. Another thing is about nurturing high-skilled human capitals, and workforce requires the strategic synergy of future higher education, advancement, and the blend of technological and digital embrace. This is what Malaysia is active, striving towards in charting new forward-looking pathway. So with that, which brings us to this vital discourse. You know, we are very privileged to have with us a very renowned speaker, a distinguished speaker from the office of the President of Uzbekistan, who brings a wealth of expertise and experience in shaping higher education policies and fostering academic excellence, especially in Uzbekistan. Of course, it's my honor to introduce Professor Adam Khudakulov, Director of Education Sector Projects Office under the administration of the President of Uzbekistan. You know, to share with you, I had the honor of meeting Professor Adam yesterday in my office, and personally I enjoy very much of our engaging and lively discussion. So, Professor Adam has been the forefront of educational modernization in Uzbekistan, focusing on strengthening research institutions, fostering industry-academia linkages, and enhancing Uzbekistan's position as a regional hub for technology-driven education. Let me just start like this, Prof. So you have been instrumental in the field and for your country, of course. And we are eager to hear from you in sharing your experience. So now, Prof, so I invite you to probably to start off your discourse. And just because of the time constraints, we have only about 15 to 20 minutes for your session. So in the interest of time, of course, I will prompt you in advance once your time is almost finishing. So without further ado, Prof, now the floor is yours. So you want to use that? Yes, please.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, I'm really honored to be presenting my country's higher education system and the recent developments in front of our colleagues, Malaysian higher education institutions, leaders, management, and professors. Today I'm gonna talk you, I will be talking about the reforms that have been done in our country since 2017, which is basically the period known to be a cornerstone in the development of our country. So, my presentation, can you? Yes. So I will brief you about the vision for higher education development in my country, and then I'll give you a small overview of the system of higher education in general. Then the main pillars of reforms advanced by our President Shaukat Mirziyoyev, and then as we witnessed these days, certain outcomes of the reforms, and then I will highlight development strategy for 2013, and of course, I'll stop on Uzbekistan Malaysia-University's consortium that initiated quite recently. Next slide. Since acquiring the presidency of Uzbekistan, Shaukat Mirziyoyev set very clear vision for our country's higher education system development. So as he said, as Uzbekistan embarks on a new phase of development, the higher education sector aims to emerge as a hub of innovation and technological advancement. So our vision is grounded in the principle that higher education serves as a transformative force for individual growth, social progress, and national prosperity. So our higher education system basically consists of, next slide please, consists of currently 208 universities, including both public and private. This number also includes the branch of foreign universities, and we have more than 1 million student body in Uzbekistan, and overall academic staff consists of like 39.5 thousand academic staff members, and we have international academic staff members, which accounts almost 2,000. And we have almost 18,000 doctoral degree holding professorial staff, which accounts basically for 44% of entire body of academic staff. And we have more than 3,500 internationally internationally trained academic staff members. And also, it's important to note that we are also advancing in global rankings. So quite recently, 2 of our universities included in the top 1,000 university rankings, which is basically a new benchmark and a new history in our country's development. And also 3 universities, public universities, included in the top 1,000 by subject, and 8 our local universities included in the QS 5 or 4 stars member club, and overall 23 universities of Uzbekistan are basically represented in QS Asia ranking. So since 2017, Uzbekistan started new phase of development in higher education, and we basically designed a 6-pillar model for advancing higher education system. First, the biggest breakthrough was increasing access to higher education. So until 2017, we had a very strict quota system, which basically covered only 8% of all applications, all graduates. So it was, the coverage with the higher education system was very small. The first thing we did is we tried to provide equal opportunity for higher education to all individuals, and also we basically diversified the higher education providers, increasing the number of private universities and branches of international or foreign universities. The second pillar of development was internationalization, which is, I see, also a very key phenomenon in higher education system development in Malaysia. So internationalization, basically we tried to integrate international perspectives, cross-cultural understanding and global partnership into the higher education environment. The third pillar was digitalization. Of course, the era is a digital era, so creating up-to-date digital infrastructure that is essential to improving the quality of teaching, learning and research has been a key priority for our educational endeavors. And also, not least important is institutionalization, which means establishing organizational structures and management systems for higher education that ensures consistency, accountability, and efficiency. So, and the fifth pillar is quality assurance mechanism. Ensuring the quality of education and defining the standards for the organization of the educational processes has been quite important for our path towards development of higher education. And the last also extremely important is stemming of higher education, which means fostering an integrated approach to learning, teaching, and research and STEM sciences: science, technology, engineering, and math. These 6 pillars have been basically the most important areas where our concentration has been given to develop the higher education system. And let me describe you our achievements here. I want to elaborate on the outcomes of the reforms that we have been advancing so far. So accessibility has been top priority, as I already mentioned. We increased access to higher education by increasing the number of higher education providers, and the numbers are extremely, important here. As you see, until 2017, we used to have like 77 universities, and predominantly public universities, state-sponsored universities. But since the privatization of the higher education, this period from 2017 till now, another more than 100 universities have emerged. Now it accounts for 208. And 50% would be public, and 34% private, and 14% branch of foreign higher education institutions. And please give attention that the intake higher education enrollment rate increased from 9% to 43% in a matter of only 7 to 8 years, which is above the international average. So international global average is around 40%. So this is basically impressive rate of growth in increasing the access to higher education. And internationalization, we have massively implemented the European credit transfer system in our education system. So over 20 higher education institutions are ranked globally. So this is also part of internationalization efforts, advanced by the government. And also, which is quite, not a big number, but it's unprecedented for our local realities, that 1,800 international academic staff have been recruited so far. So that means our universities are becoming very attractive to professors and teachers from abroad. So, and then pay rate is also quite attractive, and we are basically comparing ourselves with Eastern European countries in terms of the rate of payment for professors. And in terms of digitalization, the massive work has been done in order to digitalize the higher education system, including teaching, learning, and research. And we have a universal digital system for higher education management called HEMES. It's basically LMS for all public universities. And we have a also unified e-library system, which basically is basically composed of all universities, all public universities in the country, so they can share and resources, as well as we have a very easy loan system to basically share books and academic resources. And university services digitalize and transition to online, which is also part of the digitalization efforts. Now, most of the academic management systems are basically digitalized, and it basically reduced the hustle that we used to have in our conventional way of managing universities previously. And integration and quality, and we are, as I said, we are trying to internationalize ourselves and trying to integrate with the advanced world. And over 30 major programs got international accreditation just in a matter of last 3-4 years. And we have a legal requirement, a regulation that all public universities must basically train their academic and administrative staff abroad, and they have a concrete, I would say, target every year that it shouldn't be less than 15% of their entire academic staff. So it's a demand that our academic staff members should go abroad and enhance their qualifications and have trainings. And 1,000 internationally recognized textbooks are also translated, which is a very important element because in order to catch up with the knowledge in the advanced world, you have to, integrate international perspectives in your curriculum. That's why the translation of books, important books and recognized books has been important element for our reforms. And also we are, as our president says, we are socially oriented democracy. So the equity and equality principles have been extremely key. So this, basically, we have a scheme that the state covers postgraduate tuition fees for basically for all women. So that means the number of women in research and development has been increasing lately because of this state sponsorship scheme. And we have a very special admission quota system for individuals with special needs. And we have a free accommodation for students from low-income families as well. It's also part of our equity and equality principles. And private sector involvement in research has been also key. And currently, we have 800 projects initiated by the private sector with the amount of $31 million for higher education systems. It's not a big number, but if we compare to the levels that was until 2017, it's been impressive. And we have 70 spin-off enterprises established, producing 92 different products and services in the universities, which is also important element of commercialization of research outcomes. And this is briefly about the outcomes of our reforms. Of course, it's not all about all outcomes that I would mention, but these are the key ones. And let me elaborate now on the higher education strategy for 2030. And we want to keep our strong fist to ensure the quality across the educational institutions. So quality assurance will be first and foremost priority for our educational endeavor. So achieving international recognition through institutional and program accreditation and is one of the key elements. So we have to disrupt commodification of education by introducing policies to regulate private universities. Of course, private entities, everyone knows that first of all, they're profit seekers, but we have to ensure that they, in line with the profit-seeking mentality, they follow certain quality standards. So this is extremely important element for our strategy. So internationalization of higher education, we will keep this path towards internationalization. Because it will improve the student and academic staff mobility. Of course, we have to diversify our degree programs. And another important element is to increase the international student body in the universities. And recruiting international academic staff is also will be our one of our priorities. And integration between industry and educational institutions is extremely important because we are producing the products for services, human resources for services. So and industry should be involved in the curriculum development and research at the universities. Alignment of programs with labor market is a key, and in order to have a very strong and good relationship with industry, we have to organize internships and co-op programs And also we can create, innovation hubs in incubators jointly with industries. And also our research should be directed towards the needs and wants of industries. And we want to keep our student support program. As I said, we socially oriented democracy, and we have to be consistent with this aim. So we have to increase the number of need-based and merit-based scholarships, and also we have to provide students with loans, with the zero interest for both genders, I would say. And we have to also think about the well-being of students by creating affordable accommodations and dormitories. And of course, we have to think about and create a conducive environment for better student experience at the higher education institutions. And greenization is also a kind of a new phenomenon, and this is also part of our new strategy. And we have to increase the climate change awareness programs and campaigns at the university, and number of universities, our local universities are represented in the global rankings with their green policy. We have to continue this policy, and green campus programs project has been extremely important to help our universities to follow the greenization path. And also, we have to think about how education, higher education system in general contribute to the sustainable development goals. And of course, using this moment, I want to briefly highlight on the consortium that is a very important part of today's event. A consortium, basically, it's very unique and institutionalized consortium, and I don't think we have a similar setting with any country in the world. So I think this is the first kind of institutionalized consortium with Malaysian universities. So it's going to be under the auspices of Higher Education Council, which is NGO, independent body. It basically unites more than 100 public universities. It's a very strong NGO, quasi-governmental organization. So I'm presenting today in my double capacity. The second would be deputy chairman of this Higher Education Council. So it will be supervised by the Higher Education Council, and it has a very important element, which is a permanent office in Tashkent consisting of full-time working members, full-time. And the consortia will be made up of 10 Uzbek and 10 Malaysian universities. It is this is for initial step, so we can expand the members later on. So if any public university or a private university from both sides are interested in participating in this consortium, we'll be more than happy to facilitate that cooperation and include as a member of the consortium. And of course, there will be broad range of joint educational programs and initiatives, for example, joint research projects, curriculum development, for example, and exchange programs, probably skill development or qualification mobility could be one pillar of these activities. And of course, the central aim of the consortia is basically to basically institutionalize the cooperation between a broad range of Malaysian universities and Uzbekistan universities, and having a one designated office for that purpose. I think it's important to facilitate and monitor the progress of our relationship. I think once more, I'm really honored to be presenting at this forum, and I think it's a very important event that will basically serve as a cornerstone for the further development of higher education system in both countries. And we have many things in common, and we can share the knowledge and experience and learn from each other and make a better world for our new generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof, for your very enlightening session. So I wanted to start the discussion with a couple of questions to begin with the Q&A platform. And I have one question, Prof, before I open up the floors for questions. So you did mention many times about digitalization, right? Talking about digitalization, given the increasing focus on artificial intelligence and of course automation, how can Malaysia and Uzbekistan integrate this AI and digital skills training, like you mentioned just now, into their education systems to meet the future workforce demands? Prof.
Professors, thank you very much for this question. I think the phenomenon of artificial intelligence is now on the top agenda of all discussions across all educational layers. We can look at the artificial intelligence as opportunity as well as a very big challenge. It depends how we utilize, how we use, how wisely we use artificial intelligence, and how wisely we integrate artificial intelligence in our education system and curricula. So in this regard, now the biggest challenge to my understanding is it is jeopardizing academic integrity, academic honesty, and because of the potential of plagiarism. So I think it depends. The efficiency of using artificial intelligence in education will depend on our prudence. So it's important that we use digital technologies and artificial intelligence in our education management system, and at the same time ensure ethics, educational integrity, honesty principles, and and a strong quality assurance system.
So the key points here is a strong quality assurance, Prof.
Yes.
Right, thank you very much, Prof. Now I want to open the floor for questions. In the interest of time, I can only have probably maximum 2 questions. So make your questions short and straightforward. So is there any questions from the floor? Any questions? Right, yeah, I know it's lunchtime now, but let me just ask you probably 1 or 2 questions, Prof, before we end a discussion. Another thing that we have to discuss is all about food security, right? Food security is another critical issue. It's not only in Malaysia, I think in Uzbekistan as well. Malaysia has been leveraging the biotechnology and AI-driven agriculture, while I think in Uzbekistan has vast agricultural expertise, right? So how can scientific collaboration enhance food security for both countries? Yeah. Based on your opinion and observation?
Yeah, we are based, two of our countries are located in different environmental realities. So Uzbekistan is double landlocked country. Yes. So it is one of the 2 countries in the world which is one would be the Liechtenstein and Uzbekistan. So double landlocked means we have a very big scarcity of water resources. Although we have been an extremely key country throughout the century to provide agricultural products, and we're still, agricultural, industrial country. So food security is strategically extremely important. And we have members of a couple of universities here from public universities, and I have seen University of Agriculture and different branches of agriculture universities. So I think we have a very big experience of, a huge experience in agriculture research because of the need for research and development, because of the critical importance of agriculture. I think this is a very good area, not in terms of our, immediate needs, but it's a global phenomena. As you said, food security does not exclude any country in the world. So I think collaborating on the food security research and development will definitely benefit our countries.
Right. Thank you very much. One last question, echoing to your comment just now that both Uzbekistan and Malaysia recognize the importance of the cross-border collaboration, right, in driving innovation especially. So what are the key areas where two of our countries can work together to strengthen scientific and technological cooperation? Two key areas, maybe.
Two key areas. It is really difficult to single out any areas, but I would say coming from the top priorities of Uzbekistan and your country, STEMization has been extremely important for us. I think the important area for collaboration would be, to my understanding, personal understanding, is the STEM education and research, because the future depends on the science, technology, engineering, and math. And I do believe that if we strengthen our cooperation in these fields, I think both countries will benefit.
Right. Thank you very much. So just because we don't have much time, I have to make a summary about what we have discussed for the last half an hour, I guess. So I can just start with it. The commitment from both countries, Uzbekistan and Malaysia, will be the driving force, I guess, behind these collaborations. Universities, policymakers, industry leaders, and researchers, of course, must work in synergy to establish long-term partnership. You mentioned just now about the consortium. That is also one of the way to go. Yeah? So I think by doing so, Malaysia and Uzbekistan can not only empower their own knowledge economies, but also contribute meaningful to global development. Again, Prof, on behalf of our organizer, I thank all of you for your participations, and let us continue to forge strong partnership and advance the frontiers of knowledge together. To Professor Adam Khudaikulov, again, thank you very much for everything. I personally enjoyed the discussion very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
I hand over again back to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our esteemed speaker and moderator for the insightful presentation and discussion. We shall now move on to topic 2, Socio-Economics and Strategic Cooperation for Sustainable Development, which is going to be moderated by Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Zaliman Sauli, Vice Chancellor of Universiti Malaysia, Perlis. Please welcome.
Terima kasih, saudari pengacara majlis. Boleh start lah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, and good afternoon. Delegates from Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia and Uzbekistan, Vice Chancellors and Rectors, ladies and gentlemen. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to the first Malaysia-Uzbekistan Higher Education Forum and Showcase, a milestone in strengthening the academic collaboration and strategic partnership between our nations. So since establishing diplomatic ties in 1992, Uzbekistan and Malaysia have fostered a strong relationship in higher education through academic exchange, research partnership, and student mobility program. So for this plenary session, we will be discussing an essential and timely topic, which is about social, economics, and strategic cooperation for sustainable developments. So as we navigate the challenges of global economic transformation, sustainability has become a key priority for nations worldwide. Today's session aims to explore how higher education institutions, industry, and policymakers can work together with a balanced approach to drive sustainable socio-economic growth while strengthening the international cooperation. So we are honored to have with us two distinguished panelists who bring expertise and leadership from their respective countries, which is Professor Dr. Ahmad Atta-Rashid, the Vice Chancellor of Universiti Malaysia Sarawak. So please welcome Prof. Atta, which is representing Malaysia. So Prof. Hatta has a vast experience in academic leadership, will provide insight into Malaysia's approach to sustainable development through education and information. So without further ado, let us begin this insightful dialogue. So Prof. Hatta, another one more. Okay. So I also would like to invite Professor Dr. Aktam Solomov, Director of Fergana Polytechnic Institute, representing Uzbekistan. Please sit. So Prof. Dr. Aktam, which is expertise in engineering and technological advancements, he will share Uzbekistan's strategies for economic sustainability and the role of academia in fostering long-term development. So through this discussion, we aim to explore practical strategic challenges and opportunity of Malaysia and Uzbekistan to enhance cooperation in higher education, research, and economic development, all within the framework of sustainability. So without further delay, I would like to maybe first ask a question to Prof. Dr. Hatta. So as we discuss the opportunity for strategic cooperation and sustainability economic development, Malaysia and Uzbekistan share a strong potential for expanding trades, investment, and business collaboration. So given Uzbekistan rapid economic reform and growing market, Malaysia businesses have a unique opportunity to explore new venture. So from your perspective, which sectors or industry do you see as promising for Malaysia business entity to explore Uzbekistan? And are these specific market demands, investment opportunity, or emerging industry where Malaysia expertise and investment could create a mutually a beneficial partnership. So Prof, please. Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Thank you, Prof. Zaliman, for the nice introductions. First and foremost, I would like to thank the organizing committee in these higher education forums between Uzbekistan and Malaysia. A great honor to be with all of you here. So, as we both have agreement between Malaysia and Uzbekistan in terms of the collaborations, I can see a lot of beautiful peoples in both countries. I went to Uzbekistan last year. So we in both countries have a beautiful peoples in which that we would like in higher educations to inspire these beautiful peoples to be the next generations that we can make sure that both countries will prosperous and have overcome future challenges that we can see. So as we look into the aspect of the similarity between Uzbekistan and Malaysia, we have almost similar number of populations. And we come from diverse cultures, and we come from the country in which that been colonized by someone, so that we can learn from the difficulty of life challenges. So hopefully, I think with the time in which that we are independent, to make sure that the directions of country will be sustainable by putting an effort for both countries to work together to produce not only transforming the individuals, but also the community in both countries for the future. Uniques of, as mentioned by Prof. Zaliman, both countries have uniques, specifically in Sarawak, because we are the biggest populations situated in the Kota Semarahan, in Kuching itself. We only have about 2.9 million populations, and certain aspect in the Uzbekistan in which that there are also multiracials and also ethnicity. I think we can learn from each other and how we can turn into the similarity to a strength in which that we can do a research, combine our expert in the field of education, research, as well as we sharing the view of our future generation in which that our students from both university and country itself. By having the exchange of view, experience, inshallah in the future, they can work together to make sure that benefit both countries. In particularly about the food security, agriculture, digital, economy, and even the green technology, even the energy itself. So next slide, please. I think if you look into the next slide, we are talking about the community in Sarawak itself, in which that Sarawak is the biggest state in Malaysia. I think if you look into the land itself, it's as big as a peninsula Malaysia. And our population actually are diverse, in which that we have almost 40 sub-ethnic groups. And then we have a lot of different cultures in Sarawak, but we can work together and live in harmony. And as you know that our population also scattered, dispersed. I think there's not only a stay in rural, but also a urban and interior part of the land in the Sarawak itself. In Sarawak, I think almost 60% of our countries, at our state, actually filled with the forestry and the love of greenery, in which that I think we rich in biodiversity, in which that some of our scientists already discovered the importance of this aspect in terms to benefit on the future generations in terms of medical itself. If we, I think, introduce you to UNIMAS, I think that is where UNIMAS is belong to Malaysia as well as Sarawak, with the full-fledged university in Sarawak itself. in which that we have a population of almost 18,000 students, and we have one of the comprehensive university with 8 public university in Malaysia. And our effort actually to make sure that we're going to be a global leading university for sustainable future, in which that we cannot do it alone. I think we need to do with the other part of the global partner, like in Uzbekistan, in this region of Asia, and other part of the global university networking. So in order to achieve this, we cannot do it alone, so that we make links and in networking with our partner. Specifically, we are very young university and dynamic. We want to be networking with the others university in the world, not only within Malaysia itself. We want to be dynamic and energetic, and sharing our vision together with other part of the world, so that we can act locally, but there will be impacts globally when we do it together on this aspect. So this is our beautiful campus in Kota Semarang. I think those who are not, been to my university, I welcome you, and then have a few days in Sarawak, and then explore our diversity and our strength and culture, the way that you can taste our lovely delicacies that are ready for you to be tasted. I think, inshallah, I think one of it is mee kolok, laksa Sarawak, and so on. If you went to the Kuching, if you not test this, you have never been to Sarawak, especially in UNIMAS itself. We hope that, I think, both university in Uzbekistan and Malaysia are working together to make sure that we transform not only individual that study in our respective university, but the community that where we belong to. So in Sarawak itself, we have a big agenda because we have a big land, and then make sure that we do it with the specific, so that sustainable, transforming the social and economic without jeopardizing the environmental. This is our big agenda. So next slide. I think this is a more focus on and how we can enhance the community-driven university for a sustainable future. We are the full-fledged university in Sarawak, and then we have already 32 years in Sarawak. When we start with this few initiative, we wanted that whatever I think we can assist a state, there will be assist the nations. And automatically, whatever we do in the future, how we translate the actions that we do with the community will impact things, not only the locals. Inshallah, I think if they can be scalable in the global, I think we can share with all of you. I think some of the experience that we go through when we are impacting how social economy make sure that community is sustainable. Next slide, please. I think this is actually the way that how we do it. I think through Lestari Canvas. Lestari Canvas is just translations of community transformations and how we can make sure that they are sustainable in the future. So this is how we do it in the UNIMAS, in which that we approach initiated through the community, and how we make sure the policy maker, academy, industry, governance and community, even I think we think about the environmental. This is a pentahelic approach. And when we do a planning in initiated, that these are the questions, these are input that we need to transform the community that we are think of. I think, for example, some expect that we do, I think in Sarawak, I think in terms of the coverage of internet, in terms of supply of treated water, and the most important actually is energy. As you know that Sarawak is a quite huge land, and then the community is dispersed. We still have the issue of in which that some of the, I think the community in the interior part is not able to have internet coverage. So these are the initiatives that we try to use this canvas, and we said, I think, step by step. And then even we exit, and then if we think these scalables will be impacting and then make sure that our strategic partner can use modified it for other part. I think we have a few examples that we started with the e-Barrio, the first telecenter in Sarawak, in which that in 1986, we started with a group of researchers to select the most interior part, highlands in the Sarawak village, in which that is difficult to access logistically, and then these the researchers need to make sure that they are able to provide facilities, especially in internet and connections between the community within that specific area, in which that to reach them, this is difficult. There's no proper transportations, there are coverage of electricity and so on. This team of these researchers already put an effort to the area in which there are very challenging. I think challenging in which that is not able to be reached by the transport, as well as the solar system we need to use for the internet access. We need to have a satellite. This is 1986. I think we started this program. And then after the successful of this program, the state and even the national globals area, I think want to make sure these similar models been used in other states like Sabah, Kelantan, and a few part of the Kalimantan. I think by having this initiative, I think we will be assisting the community to reach. I think if you think about 20 years ago, to book the what do you call that, the hotel in Barrio, they call it homestay, is pretty difficult. Now, I think for the past, 1 or 3 years, to book a homestay in this place, you need to wait about 3 months because it fully books with this technology. And then how they are actually is marketing e-commerce, all the products, I think, in that village actually is a better access to the global, I think, market on the aspect. This one aspect. Another aspect that we work in the socio-economic transformation of community through sustainable, through the population in which they not have a good supply of treated water, in which that in Sarawak, because there are very challenging, I think, in logistic and aspect, and then dispersed population, they are not in the urbans, they are rural, even interior part. So what we do in UNIMAS, I think we make sure that they have a better water treated supply to this village. Give example that we done one models, I think, about 3 years ago, in which that the school is not have good treated water. There are almost 15% of the area in Sarawak there's not access to treated water. So this is the way that how we play in university to make sure they have treated water, but innovative way in which that we use a system then out of the grid, in which that this school during a raining season, the student actually run out from the class to collect the rainwater for their use, and then some of them having the skin problem. By having this the treated water supply, 3 years ago, there's no more, I think, time for the student. I think they can focus more on their study in class, and we can see there are different performance in their, I think, achievement in academic. And some of them already enrolled in the university. And yes, last year, 5 of these students from the interior school graduated from our university. These are the impacts that we can see after 5 years, how we implement this, in which that I think the student supposed to study is not run away from the class to collect the rainwater for the use for the daily. I think these are the things that we play a role in the community that really need our support in innovations. Not only that, I think we'll go next to the way that how energy is being delivered to the community is a need. As I mentioned, Sarawak itself have very, I think, not only in Sarawak but other countries, certain population is not been able to have this energy, electricity coverage. I think they are out of the grid. So our team actually to assist them through mini hydro power. So there's one, I think, village that we provide this, in which that they have a good electricity and use for their community to support. I think the activities, not only education, but other aspects. I think these are the minimals I think we do for the needed community, but the impactful will be assisting a current initiative by our state governments on this aspect. So other aspect that we do work with the community, how we can make sure that social economy of the community to be value added, in which that the income of that generations or that community will be added through our training, how we can improve the value added of the heritage. We trained almost 100 artisans from that interior part of the world where they have very rich of these indigenous cultures, craft, and so on. We make it value added, and then they can sell it with the better price, and then indirectly we increase the household of income of that community. So I think this is the way that how we can impact socio-economic of the community that we I think need to transform. I think if you want to see in immediately one day, you can't. But I think for the past 32 years, we impacting this community, and then now the craft all value added and been sold at the better price, not only in local market, but also global market through our e-commerce, I think, to the community that we are trained on. Okay, apart of that, I think as you mentioned earlier, our focus on how we can work together. I think, inshallah, I think we may have a similarity in Uzbekistan, and then how we can share our opinion, not only to nurture the academicians, but also in how we have the student, the future generations, to have a different view, see what is Malaysia, what is Uzbekistan. I think at the moment we just see as a visuals, I think we communicate, but it's good time both university and countries work together to make sure that in the future we can have a better right for both generations in terms of sustainable in future. Thank you very much for, I think, this sharing of discussion. Hopefully, I think we can have more time later on. I think we can have private chats to make sure that how we can impact both university as well the community that we are working on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Hatta, for your valuable insights on potential opportunities for Malaysia, and especially you share about Sarawak and UNIMAS just now and Pakistan. So now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Artam Salomo to further elaborate on about this topic from Uzbekistan perspective. So Prof. Dr. Artam, based on your expertise and understanding of Uzbekistan economic landscape, education, how do you see the role of foreign investments, particularly from Malaysia, in contributing to Uzbekistan sustainable development? So please, Prof, you can use.
Dear distinguished guests, dear participant of this wonderful conference, and dear participant, it's a great honor for me to be with you and talk about in first Malaysia-Uzbekistan Higher Educational Forum, which represent the step forward to strengthening the ties between two nations, since we have the same goals for sustainable development. So, first of all, I would like to, and I would request you, the participant, to give applause to the leader of our nations and our ministers. So, because of their real view about the sustainable development of our nations and countries, we are here, and this is going to happen. So, the previous speakers and the previous which have delivered talk make my job easier. That many of my presentation part has been already told, so it makes me easy. And anyway, I hope that the question has been raised by can be taken from the presentation, and I hope that this will be in the broader perspective the answer the question how we can Malaysia and Uzbekistan can communicate, and what is the main key targets and sectors of cooperation, and what can be done in the educational and research sector. So the topic of my presentation is social economical cooperation for the future development of future sustainable development, since we are sharing the responsibility to addressing to the main challenge of nowadays, including the climate change, the economical inequality, and security and peace as well. So I think that education is one of the most possible pathway to resolve all the global nowadays challenge. So the presentation is made in the citation of the words of our Honorable President, that I would say that nowadays in Uzbekistan, we are making a new great history of Uzbekistan. Since 2018, massive reforms in all fields of social economical branches of the life has been done, has been initiated, and now New Uzbekistan became a national ideology. So in this sense, the government set ambitious goals to diversify the economy from the research-based and agriculture-based to the industry-based. In this sense, our cooperation in education and research will be beneficial for not only Uzbekistan, maybe, but also for Malaysia. So next slide, please. Despite the small and very short period of starting these massive reforms in Uzbekistan, we have made a valuable and notable results. So the GDP since 2016 increased each year 6% each year, and even in the COVID-19 period and after pandemic period, it continuously rise. So the goal was, this will be, GDP growth will be very important for the economical point of view. So in very short periods, in 7 years in Uzbekistan, direct foreign investment overall is about $120 billion. So it's a huge improvement in this perspective. In social area, as has been already mentioned by the Akhnam Khudaykulu, who is the director of the office about the sustainable development of education, we rise from 9% of the coverage by higher education from 9% to almost 43%. And consequently, the index of the human development rise very rapidly due to the coverage of the young by education and rising the expectancy of their life. So next one. So sustainable development is about creating a system which works for all people. And in 2023, recently, Uzbekistan has adopted the strategy of the sustainable development Uzbekistan called Uzbekistan 2030. And you know that the main idea was to base it on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. We have assigned it in Uzbekistan 100 goals to reach till 2030. And it was 5 priority areas, and the first one is economical development. As has been already mentioned, till the end of the 2030, the aim was to increase the GDP twice, doubling the GDP. And overall income should be upper the average in the world. So, and the next one is to, as I said, making transformation from the agricultural-based economy to industrial-based economy. So you can understand that this is a very, very huge and make a huge pressure to the educational system. So next one. Next one. In social area, it's already mentioned that in social area we improve a lot, and the target goal for the Uzbekistan 2030 to reach 50% of the coverage by higher education of the young. So another very important point is to totally digitalize the public schools. Then we can, by honesty, say that it's a very pleasure for us to mention that the literacy rate of Uzbekistan in 100% because of the compulsory education which is ensured by the constitution. The next one. So as you know that Uzbekistan still faces several challenges, ecological challenge like Aral Sea and the degradation of the soil and scarcity of the water. So in order to overcome this problem and mitigate the negative effect, Uzbekistan has assigned the targets. One of the biggest program which I would like to stress out here is the Green Uzbekistan, which each year, corresponding to that program, each year 100 million trees and plants has been planted in Uzbekistan. So at the end of the 2030, all the area will be greeny. So the next one is all initiative to mitigate the negative effect of the Aral Sea. So next one. So in terms of the public administration and the rule of the law, Uzbekistan, the government understands that in order to recognize, in order to attract investment, we need to make reforms in institutional reforms. So, and in this perspective, the two main points has been addressed in strategy Uzbekistan 2030. Next one. So I would like to mention what is already done so far with Uzbekistan and Malaysia. So the target outlined here is can be provide a roadmap for the future cooperation, and it's really pleasure to say that Uzbekistan and Malaysia has the same targets in these targeted outlines. So first of all, I would like to mention about the renewable energy, since Malaysia has a very huge experience on the solar energy and also micro power stations, which we benefit for Uzbekistan, since Uzbekistan has made really big, ambitious goal to plant 2,000 micro power station in Uzbekistan and reach 40% of the energy consumption, today's energy consumption by the renewable energy. So, and the expertise of the Malaysia in this sense will be really quite beneficial. So, in order to understand the potential, I put here the total turnover of the Malaysia, which reached 577 millions. So it means nowadays, by statistics, Uzbekistan and Malaysia has only 160 million. So you have very huge potential, and we can increase by making real cooperation in the targeted field outlined here. And the important thing is to say that Uzbekistan is one of the richest countries with the cultural heritage and Islamic monuments. Matter of fact that Uzbekistan, the more than 80 objects in Uzbekistan has been included in the World Heritage by UNESCO. So this will be a quite good destination for the Malaysian tourists, since touristic capacity of Malaysia is about 30 million. So in this perspective, in few years, we can reach the capacity of our turnover to $2 billion. The next one. So, Akhtam Khudaykulov and other speakers already told about cooperation in research, innovation, and education, but I would like also here stress out how we can do. We can, first of all, we recognize that the Malaysia has very good transformation of education, and we can learn a lot from the transformation of higher education since we are in the transferring phase. So by creating the branch of the really distinguished University of Malaysia and Uzbekistan, making double degree program, making exchange of staff program with the Malaysian University. And I would like to finalize the next one, finalize my presentation. Next one. By the Malaysian idiom, that means the thorny bamboo with the river bank, which means how important the mutual cooperation. And now we are coming here, and I would like to end by the word of the Henry Ford. So coming together, it's a beginning. Keeping together is progress, and working together is success. So I wish that today's meeting will be successful in sense of mutual beneficial cooperation for both countries. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Akhtam, for your insight on potential opportunities from Malaysia, businesses, opportunity in Uzbekistan. So ladies and gentlemen, now is already time for lunch, actually. But I would like to open one or two questions from the floor, if there are any. Any question? No? Going for lunch? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, as we are now to the conclusion of this insightful plenary session on socio-economics and strategic cooperation for sustainable development, so I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished panelists for sharing their expertise and perspective. So both distinguished panels have provided with invaluable insight into the opportunities and challenges in fostering economics and academic collaboration between Malaysia and Uzbekistan. So as we move forward, we hope today's conversation will inspire greater collaboration between stakeholders in education, industries, and governments. So let this forum be a stepping stone towards meaningful partnerships and contribute to a long-term sustainable and prosperity. So once again, thank you to our esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, and all participants for being part of this engagement discussion. So we look forward to seeing more fruitful collaboration between Malaysia and Uzbekistan in the near future. So with that, I officially conclude this session. Thank you very much. Kata Rahmat.
Thank you so much to our expert speakers and moderator for the thought-provoking perspectives. Truly insightful. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now concluded the plenary session, and now we'll take a break for lunch before we reconvene at 2:30 later afterwards. And also, for the Malaysian guests, there is a compliment dish, cloth, provided by our Uzbekistan counterparts, and you can have a taste of it at the designated dining area. Now we'd like to invite everyone for lunch. Thank you.